Want to get back to Microsoft this morning, which is planning to give a much-hyped Windows 8 a makeover. The tune-up being announced today, but will not be released to consumers and businesses until later this year. Here's Bill Gates, the chairman, talking about PCs, tablets, and Windows 8 on Squawk Box yesterday.
And Windows 8 really is revolutionary in that it takes the benefits of a tablet and benefits of a PC, and it's able to support both of those. So, if you have Surface Pro, you've got that portability of the tablet, but the richness in terms of the keyboard, Microsoft Office of a PC. So as you say, PCs are a big market. It's going to be harder and harder to distinguish products, whether they're tablets or PCs. With Windows 8, Microsoft is trying to gain share in what has been dominated by the iPad-type device.
Let's bring in Rick Sherlin, the head of U.S. Technology Research at Nomura, for his insight. Rick just met with Microsoft's CMO and CFO of the Windows division, Tammy Reller, about an hour ago. Rick, good morning. Good to have you back.
Good morning, Carl.
What did you learn?
Well, I wouldn't call it a U-turn on Windows. I think that Windows 8 has some usability things that we're going to see worked on. It's going to be expanded to address devices under 8 inches, so smaller form factors. But I think at the end of the day, it creates a very good new touch notebook operating system. But tablets are still going to be a challenge, I think. There's just tremendous competition in the consumer market with Android tablets and iPads. But there's probably a reason to be more optimistic, about new generation touch-based notebooks, the Ultrabooks coming forward. And I think Windows 8 addresses some more usability things and addresses smaller form factors. So it's probably an important catalyst in trying to get this market started for them for back to school and the end of the year. When you have Haswell out from Intel that gives you much longer battery life, and the prices are coming down. We're starting to see a lot more availability of these touch-based notebooks. So I think the opportunity for companies more in the notebook side than it is so much on the consumer tablet side.
Would you say it is an evolution, Rick, or is it really a walk back? Is it really a reversal, the way some are trying to paint it with a broad brush today?
Yeah, so I think that the PC users would like to just get right to the Windows experience and not have the tablet user interface kind of get in the way. So they haven't announced yet exactly what they're going to do on the usability side, but I would think maybe giving you the ability to go directly into the desktop mode and not having to be distracted with the tablet stuff if that's not what you want to take advantage of right now. So I think also just in terms of how you use the product, there's a way to help you come up the learning curve a lot faster. But I don't think this is a radical change. I think this is a little more incremental.
Rick, is there nonetheless an admission that perhaps they're partly to blame for the slump in PC sales that we've seen rather than invigorating them? It was a very tough first quarter. And at the same time, what are the implications now for Steve Ballmer, who we should not forget at the launch of Windows 8 said it was a bet the company moment for Microsoft?
Yeah, so look, I think that harm's already been done. The acknowledgement that you can do a better job with Windows 8, I think, is a step in the right direction and kind of trying to improve upon that. So I don't think there's implications for Ballmer from, announcing this 8.1 version, let's call it, of Windows. I think that's kind of been in the market for the last 6 months. You've seen a lot of criticisms of Windows 8 in the press already.
Rick, the elephant standing in the room is the charts that we keep showing. David Faber's done a lot of work on this, the way in which enterprise is now so important for Microsoft, for which Ballmer could take some credit. How material is the Windows 8 change to where the share price goes, given where the bulk of the rest of the business is?
Yeah, so with PC units down about 14% in the first quarter, that's a sell-in number. I think sell-through has probably been a little more stable, but it's kind of plateaued. We need to see more hardware, and I see reason to be a little more optimistic in the second half of the year with more and better hardware coming out. The rest of the business is doing reasonably well. The enterprise business is a good business for them. The Office business, will ultimately follow the Windows business, but, for now it's growing 5 to 7%, so it continues to hold up really well because it's more of an annuity business. The enterprises pay an annual subscription for Windows. It's not as transaction-driven as the Windows business itself is.
finally, Rick, we're into the 30s here. You've got a neutral rating, and you had been, as I recall, pretty bullish on their prospects back in the 20s. Why so cautious?
Well, I probably let Simon beat me up enough into submission, but I actually do like the story here. I think that there's been a lot of bad news out already. I think it probably looks better going into the second half, and we had some pretty bad news on PC sell-in this past quarter, but I think that's probably the worst of it. So I think that, you still have all these same issues of tablets, and, Android is free, so that's a really tough price competitor going forward. But I think it's probably not as bad as you might think, and it's just, it's kind of a tough call right now which way to go with the stock.
Rick,
I'm more positive than cautious on it, though.
Just for the record, I wasn't actually beating you up. I said I thought Windows 8 wasn't very good. And oddly enough, now they've done a U-turn, so it wasn't way out of line.
Fine, Simon.
Fairness. Was it?
Rick's dealt with much worse. I have a feeling. Rick, thanks a lot.
I've gotten beat up more, a lot worse than from Simon. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.